houses, typical park architecture. A lot of the buildings were milled, the logs were cut and milled right here in the park, and it was just easier to do that than haul it in. A lot of the early buildings in the park are Yellowstone Park classic architecture. We call it architecture. Those boat houses, a guy named E.C. Waters used to rent boats out of them around the turn of the century for $12 a day, which was highway robbery in those days, but he got it. He used to have to keep the old wooden boats in there for the winter because it freezes so hard around here. Because the moisture in the wood would expand as it freezes and split and crack the boats, ruin the boats. So they put them in there for the winter. You see the chimneys. We used to pay a winter keeper, keep them warm all winter. What a rotten job that must have been. Stay here for the winter. Back in the old days when you were cut off all winter. The building up there that's getting the new roof, it's got the green fencing around, or the orange fencing around it. There's our old fish hatchery. Back when this park was born, this lake was teeming with cutthroat trout. That's the only fish that belongs in this lake. Still the only fish that belongs in the lake. It's a world-renowned game fish. We still have people come from all over the world to fish for our native cutthroat trout. When we decided we would share that bounty with the world, we opened up a fish hatchery. At its height, it was hatching out 800,000 fish a year. By 1950s, they realized that it was taking its toll. The fish population was declining rapidly, so they closed it down. We've seeded lakes all over North America and as far away as New Zealand with our cutthroat trout. They figured that since they were only selling half of what they raised, they were putting the other half back in the lake, they were reseeding what they took out. What they didn't realize was fish raised in the stock tank don't know what a predator is. They're basically putting fish food back in the lake. Not many of them made it. Okay, next building is the Grand Ole Lake Yellowstone Hotel. Anybody staying there? Great, it's a beautiful hotel. This was the Grand Loop Road. Originally, you came by stagecoach around that curve and right up to the front of the hotel. This is the way it's meant to be seen. But you guys came in from the other side, past the dumpsters. Yeah, a little less than a grand entrance. It wasn't meant to be that way. Originally, it was built by the Union Pacific Railroad, 1889 to 1891. Just the part on the left side where the roof's a little higher, the two dormers coming out, that's the original part of the hotel. Didn't always look that good. I'll pass that around. It was built by the Northern Pacific Railroad, and if you know what railroad hotels look like, you can look at that and say, yeah, that's a railroad hotel. They all look alike, kind of. After the turn of the century, they decided they wanted to spruce it up and add on. They hired a guy named Robert Reamer, who more than doubled the size of the hotel, bring it out to encompass that third dormer. He brought the dormers out, put in the big columns with the Ionic or ram's head capitals, put in the dormers in the roof and the false balconies, the big sunroom on this side, and the restaurant on the left side there. Kind of made it into the Grand Old Lady it is today. If you like the color, go to Sears. It's in their book, Yellowstone Yellow. It's had successive remodels. At one time,